Is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 still worth buying in 2025? Let's find out. Hey, I'm Penny, and today I'll be discussing this little camera and its pros and cons 1 year after I bought it. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is said to bring a lot to the table. 4K video, gimbal stabilization, shooting in portrait and landscape mode, a front-facing screen for vlogging. And look, it's all good and fun spouting out logistics, but I want to actually talk about its practicality when it comes to shooting for social media. I think the first thing that enticed me to buy this camera was its stabilization. Genuinely, the stabilization on the Pocket 3 is unbeatable in comparison to other similar vlog cameras, and as someone with shaky hands, it has actually genuinely been a lifesaver. And honestly, that's basically priceless to me. You can very easily adjust the gimbal settings and its speed, and I probably would have bought this camera just based off this, but obviously there's a lot of other really good features. It's such a relief to not have to try and hold my hand super still when it's shaking when I'm filming myself. One thing I will say is that occasionally the gimbal is actually a tiny bit annoying, because when you're setting up the Pocket 3 for a stable shot where you don't want it to be moving, it will occasionally just continue moving for fun, but this is avoidable by using the little controller instead of moving it using your wrist. I just still forget sometimes, and I'll set up a shot, watch it back and go, why is it tracking across this way for no reason? So let's look at the size of this camera. So here is like a standard Sony vlogging camera with the screen flipped out so you can see yourself. You can easily like pop that on a little tripod or something and it wouldn't be too big, right? But here's the DJI next to it. It's quite tiny. If you hold them sideways, then you can see it like this. The Pocket 3 is a whole lot lighter as well. And honestly, I see that as a really good thing. I put the Pocket 3 and the little tripod add-on into its case. I can easily put this in whatever like little shoulder bag I'm bringing with myself that day. I can take it everywhere with me because it's only slightly bigger than a purse. I've even just like clipped it onto a carabiner before and hung it off my shorts just to access it easily. Also, if you don't like filming in public places, this is fantastic. I do not like filming in public places and people watching me, but it's so tiny it's not as noticeable. This, when you have a microphone on top of it and you're holding it with maybe a Gorilla Pod or something like that, ends up being quite obvious that you're filming, whereas this is basically just the size of an iPhone. I also shoot social media content for other businesses quite often, and it's so much easier just showing up with this in my little bag instead of a like whole huge setup. One thing I will say is that the video quality is pretty fantastic considering the size of the camera. On landscape mode, it shoots up to 4K and it can shoot up to 120 frames per second if you need to shoot in slow motion, or the regular 24 frames per second, which is what I usually use. It's just as good as other cameras when it comes to quality, but you're probably not going to be able to get that like blurry background effect that you might want for cinematic shots. This is because you can't really get a super shallow depth of field with a fixed lens and fixed aperture. The sensor is simply too small for that. But to be fair, the sensor is also probably as big as they can get it considering the size of the camera. Despite this, I think that high quality will cover most people's needs by far. Now, one of my favorite things about this camera is that you can switch from shooting in a landscape to portrait mode. As someone who creates a lot of content for social media, this is really important for me. I like being able to shoot easily in portrait mode without it feeling quite so like unnatural with a camera on its side. Unfortunately, while it does shoot 4K in landscape mode, it actually only shoots 3K in portrait mode. I found this kind of weird and pointless. Like, I feel like they could have designed it so that the camera could rotate so it could shoot 4K in portrait. To be fair, most of us are probably watching shorts and reels on a phone. We're not going to be able to tell the difference between 4K and 3K. So what I did when I bought the Pocket 3 is I bought it as part of a creator kit. It was an extra $200. And if you're buying this camera, I would 100% recommend doing the same. This is because if you get it with creator kit, you get all the other add-ons that I think are pretty necessary when creating videos. So the main important parts that I received as part of the kit was the battery handle, which adds on extra battery life, the tripod add-on. I got a little microphone that came with it, which is so cute. And it also actually came with a wide angle lens that you can clip on to the current lens, which is really handy for vlogging. So honestly, I'd say that the creator kit itself is what makes the camera the best it can be. Unfortunately, that does mean an extra $200 USD that you have to spend. So I would say battery life is one of the downsides to this camera. Its battery life is not great. As someone who uses this camera to go out and shoot a full day of content for social media, This is probably the one thing that I would change. The battery in the Pocket 3 itself lasts about 2 hours, which is pretty average. Like, that's okay, but if you're taking it out vlogging for a day, you can expect to run out of battery halfway through. When you add on the battery handle that you get with the Creator Kit, it adds about another 2 hours. Even if they could increase the battery life by like an hour, I would say that would be really helpful. But I will say the plus side is that it charges quite fast. So if you carry around a power bank or something with you for the day, then it should be okay. But still not my favorite part of the camera. Now, audio quality. I consider audio quality to be very, very important, which is why I always use this microphone with this camera. But if you don't want to spend the extra money on the little DJI mic that comes with the kit, I'll show you what the audio sounds like without. Okay, so this is the audio quality without the little DJI mic connected to the camera. So as you can hear, it's not too bad. It's pretty standard in comparison to other vlogging cameras. But now let's connect the mic. Okay, so I like holding my little mic here because that's where I get the best audio quality. But this is what it's like when it's clipped onto my shirt. It sort of muffles it a little bit unless I angle my voice down like this. If I'm out here, it's because it's not facing my mouth. But yeah, overall, not that bad. I really like it with the little microphone, but you can also use it without. The microphone also connects like immediately to the DJI, like it takes 1 second. You just have to set it up once and then it will do it every time. So overall, the quality is pretty standard and the little Bluetooth mics are quite fun. So having the ability to see myself while I'm filming is really quite important to me. It is a pain to have to connect my camera to my phone and it's constantly glitching and lagging. And that's what I have to do right now with the camera that I'm filming this video with. So this is a big win for vloggers where you need to be in the frame. You don't have to guess whether you're in focus or actually off camera. It makes shooting much more intuitive and you can easily zoom and move the gimbal around and still know what your camera is looking at. So if you're someone who frequently films on your own, then I would highly, highly recommend this camera for that purpose. Now the price. Honestly, for price, the Pocket 3 is very similar to other vlogging cameras, which I think is fantastic due to its capabilities. Since I would recommend getting the Creator Kit, it ends up being about the same as other vlogging cameras with the Creator Kit, but you get all these extra add-ons that you wouldn't normally get, like the little microphone and an extra battery handle. Whereas a vlogging camera like this, once you buy the lens as well, put it on a tripod, it ends up being a bit more than that. So I would actually say that the DJI Creator Kit is very much worth the cost. Now I'm just going to quickly talk about anything I missed or that didn't deserve a whole section. The first thing is that there's an app that you can connect to. This way you can have a bigger screen, so similar to what I have on my phone screen right now, and you can easily change the settings through that app, especially like to do with the brightness and the exposure settings. So I think that's super funky. As well, the Creator Kit comes with the wide angle lens, and that's kind of the look that most vloggers have in their videos. It's a little bit wider. So I definitely think that that's like a really cool add-on that they thought of. The other thing that I thought was really cool is that it can auto sense falls. If you're clumsy like me and you think that you might drop the thing, it actually can usually tell if it's falling to the ground and it'll turn the little lens to it facing inwards to protect itself. Honestly, I think that's kind of crazy in a good way. Look, overall, this is a fantastic camera. 1 year later, I am still so glad that I purchased it. And if you want to shoot videos for Instagram or make videos on YouTube, then this is a great camera. Speaking about YouTube, if you want to know how to reach 100,000 subscribers in 2025, I have a video about this that you can check out on my channel. Good luck on your creator journey, and I'll see you next week.